how do I turn the hard times I'm going through into growth? And we hear it a lot, and we see a lot of motivational videos, motivational speakers, like successful gurus telling us, yes, hardship is normal. You have to go through hell in order to see the light and be successful. Yes, that's great. But on a daily basis, how do you do it? What do you do when you're in the middle of a turmoil and when your life or your business is simply falling apart? It is hard to see through, and it's even harder to see it as an opportunity for growth. Hello,
Hey, Darine,
Yasmin.
thank you. Hello, thank you very much for the introduction. I appreciate that.
I love your story. Like this, all the stories of the woman I interview on this podcast, it's really a story of resilience, a story of real life, and a story of success. But without ignoring or diminishing all the struggles, the challenges that you faced along the way.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Cairo, Egypt, and I got married at the age of 18 after following my heart, and I loved my husband from the first sight. So I accepted his proposal. My dad wanted me to continue studying, but I said, "Don't worry, I'll do it later on." And I moved with my husband to West Africa, Nigeria, and I lived there for another 18 years. The business was doing great. We were literally spoiled. I never worried about money. I had 5 kids. We were just enjoying our life to the maximum, traveling everywhere, on first class, 5 stars hotels, having a boat and a beach hut, and I never worried about money actually. So we moved to Canada because it was time for my kids to go to university, and um, we did not do our due diligence. So we came over. My husband was overqualified for every single job that he applied for, and we didn't know what to do. And we are a family of 7. So my husband's friend suggested, why don't you do real estate? So he did his certification in real estate. He took it, and we thought, like back in West Africa, things would be easy. He will sit behind the desk, and people will come to him and will say, "Come and sell my house," or "Come and buy for me." It didn't happen. No one knocked the door, and we lost our savings. We lost our dream home. We lost the smile in the house, literally.
Um,
And life became like, it was like a dark hole, and we didn't know what to do. And as a spoiled woman, I was like, what's happening in here?
what's happening to
So
my fancy lifestyle?
exactly. Yeah, but I always had the urge to become a businesswoman, and I have, like, despite my spoiled and fancy life back in Nigeria, I was also studying online because I felt that I have to be educated. So when things changed, and we became financially challenged, I said, you know what, I'm going to do something. I'm going to crash your business, join your business, and see what I can do. I was very stressed. I was very stressed. The kids were very stressed. And we were in fear. Like, we didn't know whether next month we were going to pay our bills, we were going to be under a roof or not. So I said,
it,
let
it
me
was
join.
it was that bad, actually, that bad, right? You
Oh
didn't know
yeah,
if you
it
would be
was
able to
that bad.
pay. Wow.
Oh yeah, I was counting the coins to buy eggs at that time.
And
And before,
like, sorry, did you work before? Like, did you have previous work experience? Because as a mom of 5 kids, I understand that maybe you decided to focus on raising your kids, right?
so back in Nigeria, the culture is the men work and the women spend the money. This is how
That's
it is.
that's a good culture. We like this.
So yeah, I joined. I went to a retail store here when it was like hard, and I joined a retail store as a store coordinator. They were so happy from me. They wanted to take me to the next level, but I wasn't getting enough money to feed the family. And I thought, if my managers are that happy from me and I can do a difference, I can make a difference, why not join my husband and put this energy into his business and see what we can do together? So after 5 months of joining the retail store, I quit and I joined my husband. I felt that it was really important to be with him and to help him get this business off the ground. So
All together. So let's back up a little bit to,
yeah.
being very comfortable in your life, spending your husband's money, to coming to Canada, and facing challenges that a lot of immigrants actually may face when they land in the country at the beginning. The first few years are challenging. So tell us a little bit more about the thought process, because you find yourself in a situation that was new to you. You were broke and you didn't know what it was to be broke before. So how do you go from, and I believe there must be like an emotional elevator, right? So how do you go from, okay, I live a successful life based on your own term, of course, to we are going through challenges, we are dead broke, to okay, I have two options now. Either I keep crying on myself and stressing out, or I open my eyes and do something. And what can I do? So what is the thought process here?
Yeah, the thought process is taking ownership, like being responsible for your situation. Because what I have learned later, like this is what I have done by nature, but what I have learned later from my mentors is that nothing happens to you. Everything happens before of you, because of you. When we came to Canada and I was listening to my friends and to some community members, and they were saying there is no money in Canada, the government will bring you here and will give you a little bit of money, and they will take on the other side a lot of money in taxes and so on and so forth, and like there are no opportunities and there is no money and blah blah blah. And I was like, so why did we come here? Like, we have to take ownership. It's not the government, it's not the opportunities. We haven't done our due diligence, like, period. We haven't done our homework, and we didn't know how to run a business in a country like this, and we have to learn how to do that. So the thought process is just take ownership, because as I said, I can cry forever, which I did, and nothing happened. And I can just take on and see what I can do. Like, we are human beings. We were created to keep moving forward. We were created to find solutions, and this is what differentiates us from any other mammal. We have that mind that that's the that that keeps us moving forward, and we have the thought process that help us to understand and find solutions. Like, I can like, you get what you focus on. So we can focus on being a victim, or we can focus on being a creator.
I love that. You get what you focus on. Do you want to focus on being
Yeah,
a victim, or do you want to focus on being a creator? Do you want to focus on being
exactly.
the creator of your own life and your own success? That's powerful. So how did you come um from this situation to deciding to become a Grant Cardone licensee?
Yeah. So as I was looking for resources online and business books, I had no idea about business. I had no idea about sales before. I had no idea about all of this, like, entire world. So I was looking for every source that could help me understand how to build a business and how to get it off the ground. And something that I have learned from Grant later is that when the student is ready, the mentor or the teacher appears. As I was looking for resources, my husband by that time had a mentor in his real estate coaching program. And I was telling the mentor, like, we're doing everything, but nothing is working. What we can do, like, what else can we do? And the mentor asked a question. He said, what's your background in sales? I said, nothing. And my husband said, this, and that. And the mentor said a sentence that changed our life. He said, you guys have to learn how to sell. By that time, I was looking online on Amazon for those books, and I came across the 10x rule by Grant Cardone. And while everyone else was like suggesting and advising us to save money, which I didn't have any money to save, Grant Cardone was saying like 10x your actions so that you can create income in your life. And I liked what he said. I liked his energy. And I said, this is the mentor that I want to follow. And I shared the book with my husband and I said, listen, you stop everything and you listen to that man. And when we have the money, we will train with him. Guess what? We didn't have the money and we had to figure out a way to train with him. Otherwise, we wouldn't have changed our life. So when my husband's mentor suggested that we join sales training, and I asked him, "Who do you suggest?" He suggested two names. One of them was Grant Cardone. So I looked at my husband and I said, "That's it. We will figure it out." And we joined the Cardone training. I started role playing with my coaches. I started training on daily basis. I was like a sponge, just sitting in front of the Cardone University and sucking the information, and and things started to change. I started to take control of the cold calls. My husband was doing the showings. I was doing the cold calls. I was sweating. I was crying before and after the cold calls. But guess what? I have to do it. I have no choice. Like I have to do it. Period. And I was doing those cold calls. I started following up with everyone that was with the leads, and the leads, like every other real estate agent would say, we're not, some of them were not serious, some of them would tell you I'm just looking, some of them would tell you I clicked add by mistake. But with the follow-up, literally with the follow-up process that I followed, we were able in 4 months to 4 times our revenue, and that was in COVID, when COVID hit.
Wow. So I guess it was very reassuring, right? And comforting
Oh
to
yeah.
see, okay, I am investing my time, my money, but I'm getting result. And this is what we are here for. How do we get results? Because we know it. Sometimes we can take massive actions, and I have read his book twice, the TEDx rule. But then you want to ensure that you take the right actions, right? And when I hear you sharing your story, for me, what is striking me is your resilience. If there is one word that we use to describe you, it's resilience. So, how do you develop or cultivate resilience when you have to figure out, what are those actions that you need to take? Because it can be discouraging when you take actions but you don't get results. It's not because you're not good at it. It's not because it wasn't meant to you to happen, for you to happen, but more because maybe you are not doing the right thing in the beginning. So how do you cultivate that resilience to ensure that you don't give up until you
Sure.
find the solution?
Sure. So, first of all, I liked what you said about the right action, because you might be taking the wrong action and taking action forever and nothing happens. So, having a mentor, having the right process in place is so important. This is in regards to the right action, but also having the resilience. Like, know that there is no other way for you to succeed except by doing what you hate to do and what you're not comfortable with. But once you trust the process, once you trust the process, just follow the process and put your emotions on the side. Put your fear on the side. Know that the process, since the process works, I am getting this process from a mentor that has shown success, and that has shown success in his mentee stories or her mentee stories. Since the process is there, just trust the process. The resilience comes when you put your emotions on the side and know that there is no way back. Like, this is all I have. I will continue to do it until I get the results. And one thing that I have learned from my mentors is that frequency comes before greatness. So the more you do what you have to do, the better you will become at it, the more confidence you will develop, and as a result you will get the results. So don't expect to be doing cold calls and get clients from the first month or from the first week. Know that your frequency will develop greatness, because once you are doing the same thing over and over and over again, this is where you become better at it. So this is where the resilience comes from. And burn the ships. Like, this is what
Mhm.
I need to do. I trust the process. Go for it.
Okay, and we have actually a great comment. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. It's good to be back for the new, for the fall after the summer. Hello everyone. I see Mohamed Jallo. I see Robert Berry. I see Mahdi also. Mukesh. So thank you everyone for joining us. Um, Robert says, yes, he agrees with you. Like those three things are key, right? And we have uh, a comment actually from Salik Majid who says it's very simple to convert your hard time into growth. One, learn new things that improve you. Two, take small steps to improve you. Try to earn money by your skills and knowledge, then your heart and convert into good time, which is basically what you were saying. But yeah, but again, and I really appreciate what you said, because when you are in the middle, it's easy to say, it's easy to talk about it, it's easy to say it, it's too easy to read books. But then when you're in the middle of it, it's really, really hard to see through, and it's really hard to even consider the hard time we are going through as a potential opportunity for growth, right? Because usually that's not where our mind is. And you mentioned, responsibility. You have to pause and realize that this is your responsibility to decide how you wanna react to the situation. Now, in addition to responsibility, again, because when we are in the middle of it, when you feel like your life is falling apart, you don't think about, oh yeah, I'm responsible. You're like, oh my God, like what's happening? How am I going to go through? So what advice would you give people, who are going through tough time, being in business, in their professional life or in their personal life? So at least, they can at some point realize that, okay, what is the teaching lesson here? What do I need to learn in order to turn this challenge into opportunity?
Yeah, just take a step back and be honest with yourself and have self-awareness. Because it all goes back to your self-awareness and your honesty with yourself. So take a step back, take a step back and think, what could I have done differently? And one thing that I have learned from Grant Cardone and his team also is to write down your goals. Like, you have to keep moving forward. If I start thinking in terms of this doesn't work and that doesn't work and I'm a victim and like, I am a victim of my circumstances, guess what? Circumstances will not change unless you change. So be in control of your thought process. This is number one. Stop the victim mentality. Stop it. Don't allow yourself to victimize yourself. This is number two. And number three, write down your goals every single day. This is part of the rules of success. that we have to go through every single day. Every single day, as a Grant Cardone licensee, I have to write down my goals, and everyone who trains with us, every single day, twice. First thing in the morning, last thing in the evening. Why? We want to focus on what matters. We want to focus on what matters, how have our goals in front of us, reverse engineer, and take action that feed our goal. So it's all about your super focus. And whenever you feel disappointment, go back and write down your goals so that you can train your mind and take it back to the right path. So
Mm.
it's all about writing down your goals, focusing on what matters, honestly.
Super focus. Be super focused on what matters and write your goals twice a day so you know you keep your focus on point. We have a question from Robert who asked, you talked about your mentor. How important is it for coaches to have coaches and mentors too?
Oh, yeah, it's so important. Number one, because they hold you accountable. We are as well, like we have our downtimes, we have our challenges, and we need a mentor to help to guide us. Like it's all about guidance. If I'm guiding others, I need someone to guide me and to hold me accountable and to show me what's possible, and also to tell me what works, what doesn't work. Because guess what, like as a 10x business coach, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be on social media. I wanted to do cold calls. I wanted to do cold visits. I wanted to network, and I was bouncing at one time here and there, and I needed my coach to take me back and help me focus and tell me do this one thing at a time, perfect it, and then add more. So it's all about guidance. I need the guidance so that I can guide you. If I'm not clear, if my mind is not clear on how I can guide you, how am I going to guide you? And this happens through my coach. And my coach has a coach. And this is how it works.
We have another question. How can we prioritize what matters?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
So, yeah. So, again, have a target, reverse engineer your target, know your numbers, do the math, and then there are so many shiny objects out there. There are courses about social media, there are courses about Instagram, there are so many things. So when you reverse engineer your targets, choose 1 to 3 ways to feed your action. 1 to 3 ways to act to feed your targets and to feed your goals. And don't deviate. It's 1, 2, 3. I love that that person does a number 4 and it's working for them, but this is what I'm going to stick to, because repetition is so important to get your results. Again,
True.
we get back to your focus. We get, and think about what's gonna get me the money right now. If I need income, how am I going to get income right now? If you are broke, you have to do direct marketing. You have no way other than direct marketing to get money as soon as possible. If you are not broke, you want to grow your business, you have to focus on social media, because it's one too many, but it's a long term. So
Yeah.
depending on where you are in your business, some people cannot do direct marketing, but they are so good with networking. Go for it, but stick to it.
Yeah. That's a great. I hope you are taking notes, people, because this is very practical, down to the step by step. And thank you, Yasmin, for sharing all of this with us. And we have another comment here from Salik, who says, I'm in the middle of my hard time, just lost my job, so I start my own business. And we wish you the best of luck, Salik, and hopefully you if you start implementing the practical tips that um, Yasmin has just shared with us, you should see great results. So Yasmin, our interview, our conversation is coming to an end already, and I think I could have heard you talking about, sharing your practical tips for 1 more hour at least. So for those of us, or for the people watching the video, listening to the podcast, who would like, to work with you so they can, 4x and 10x their revenue, how can they communicate, join you, reach out to you?
Yeah, just send me a DM through social media. So if you are on Instagram or LinkedIn, DM me, and I will send you my calendar link. We can book a time together where I can assess your business, see where you are at, and give you some practical steps forward, and see what we can do for you to help you in your business.
Nazek El Hariri is saying the advice given here are the best I received up till now. Thank you so much for your time and for this with us. And yes,
Thank you.
she is taking a lot of note. And let us know how it goes. Let us know how the tips and the conversation is helpful to you, helping you reach your goals. We want to know how you leverage all the learning and the inspiration and the motivation that you get from those interviews. Is there like one word or one last thing that you would like to add for our audience?
Yeah, know your purpose and just feed it with your action.
Love it. Thank you so much, Yasmin.
Thank you.